and was cleared of breaching the ministerial code, but said that staying on would detract from government work. Keir Starmer thanked her for her service, but the Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch accused the Prime Minister of dither and delay. The Liberal Democrats also added that voters expected better from the government. The chair of the Criminal Cases Review Commission has quit after intense criticism over her handling and the organisation's handling of the Andrew Malkinson case. Helen Pitcher resigned, saying she was made a scapegoat, but Mr Malkinson, who spent 17 years in jail for a crime he didn't commit, called her statement shameless. Ministers had already started the rare process of advising the King to remove her, following a damning report into the agency's failures. Well, despite her resignation, Mr Malkinson says the CCRC's leadership needs a complete overhaul, and an interim chair will now lead a full review into the Commission's operations. Rental reforms are a step closer to becoming law after MPs backed the Renters' Rights Bill. The proposals include banning no-fault evictions, stopping tenancy bidding wars and limiting advance rent demands to 1 month. The bill passed the Commons by 440 votes to 111 and will now head to the Lords, but critics warn it could push landlords out of the market and drive up rents. And hopes are rising for a ceasefire in Gaza as Israel and Hamas have edged closer to a deal tonight. US and Israeli sources suggest an agreement has been reached in principle to halt the war and exchange prisoners. Hamas is holding 94 Israeli hostages, though Israel believes only 60 are still alive, while about 1,000 Palestinian prisoners could be freed in return. If finalised, it would mark the most significant breakthrough since fighting began in October 2023. Those are the latest headlines. Plenty more still to come here on GB News. Now, though, it's time for Headliners.
For the very latest GB News direct to your smartphone, sign up to News Alerts by scanning the QR code or go to gbnews.com/alerts.
Hello and welcome to Headliners, your first look at tomorrow's top stories with 3 comedians. Before we dive in, we're going to take a look at what Kerry and Lewis will have to work with on Tuesday's front pages. First up, we have the Daily Mail, one lame duck down. Obviously, that's referring to Tulip Siddiq. And it seems like the papers have smelt blood, gunning for Rachel Reid next. The Guardian, Siddiq quits as minister after inquiry into property. So the same story, and I guess that this is the one that they're going to be jumping on today. There's also Gaza ceasefire deal right on the brink, says US. Let's remain hopeful. The Daily Telegraph, with a story that no one else has, the PM to pay damages to Jerry Adams. Wowzers. I'm looking forward to getting into the intricacies of that one. The Times, Siddiq quits over links to Bangladesh corruption, and a picture of our future Queen there. And the Daily Express, Kate's relief at being in remission from cancer. Yes, I imagine she is relieved. Of course, The Independent, Treasury Minister Siddiq quits over corruption probes. And finally, the Daily Star, keep your filthy hands off the Tory beavers. I have no idea what that's about, but Lewis is going to tell us momentarily. First up, though, let us go to the Daily Mail, Kerry.
Did you just say wowzers?
I said wowzers, I'm bringing it back to British television.
I wonder what era you're in, really, but OK, it's nice to hear it again. It is, isn't it? Yeah, so the Daily Mail is largely concerned with the Tulip Siddiq story, but it does have at the top just have something different about Kate and her relief. As you say, being in remission from cancer. I think her being in remission from cancer is the bigger story than the relief, because from what I know is most people who have remission from cancer are relieved.
Yes,
it's normal.
It's not investigative journalism there, is it?
Yeah, it's not really.
Are you happy that you're in remission?
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased about it. Yeah. Are you glad you didn't get run over? Yes, I'm quite happy about that as well. So
Lewis
anyway,
is going to tell us that cancer doesn't exist in a second, by the way.
Are you?
No, I think cancer exists. I think first of all, we don't know what caused this. What kind of cancer she has? Not that it matters. Is that.
What would you do with it if you knew?
If I did know, from what I know, is it needs to be treated with a zero-carb diet. It needs to be treated with a carnivore diet, basically.
With more meat, basically. That would be
with all meat. And they haven't said this. Chemo doesn't work. Chemo is what's killing people, and so is radiation.
But do you think the fact she had chemotherapy and she's now in remission counts for anything?
I think
science.
she might have gotten better if she had just eaten a proper diet. Why did she get this kind of cancer?
Okay,
More steak.
I look forward to Lewis's meat hospital when it opens.
We'll get to that.
I'll go.
When people know about this, there's a guy named Thomas Siegfried.
Okay.
Seyfried. You can Google it, and this is what he says. I don't know. If
It's on Google. Oh, well, if it's on Google.
Yeah, but I don't know why this is why. It might not be true, but it makes a lot more sense.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's true. Still,
other thing
a bloke said it.
Is how they're treating it does not work.
Okay.
Cancer rates are going.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
She's in remission. Kerry, shut up about cancer.
I think as the queen of this country, future queen, is that I can understand why you wouldn't want to reveal what kind of cancer you had. But like in America, when Betty Ford said
you're desperate to find out what sort of cancer she's got.
Yeah, I think the people are.
I didn't even know you meant her. I thought you said as the future queen of this country, and you were talking about yourself still. You know, this is what I think.
I think you would make a great queen.
I think you'd be a wonderful queen.
I am
really good.
I'm the past queen.
Anyway, let's talk about
the main.
I
know we should get to the. We should do the actual story. So Sadiq has gone. It's not the Sadiq people would want to go, but it's a different one. It's Tulip Sadiq, who's so it's just 24 hours.
Gone.
Huh?
I think the other Sadiq has gone.
Oh, right. Yes, you're right. Actually, yes. So just 24 hours after the PM insisted he had full confidence in her Tulip Sadiq resigns over Mail's corruption probe revelations. So how secure is the crisis hit Chancellor? So they're basically saying Chancellor next, and largely because the Prime Minister said he had full confidence in her, which turns out to be a bit of a kiss of death. As we've seen, whoever he has, Sue Gray, was it Louise Haig, and so on.
Lewis, I have full confidence in this.
I'm not sure you can pass that on.
Would you tell the people what she did wrong?
She had an aunt.
She had an aunt who gave her money. That doesn't mean she's corrupt. The aunt was corrupt for taking. This is from what I gathered. I just heard of this woman today. Is that she was given money by her aunt?
Well, she worked on a deal that then millions of pounds.
3.9 billion from infrastructure spending in Bangladesh.
Siphoned off.
Right.
But that was her family.
This is in Bangladesh. But did she work on this?
Well, I agree with you there.
That's what they're looking into. That's the corruption.
She shouldn't lose her job.
I think that's a very. Lewis has made a very good point. I'd like to explore it.
What?
I think if you are corrupt in a foreign country, it shouldn't count.
Don't look at me like that.
What do you think?
I disagree with you. I think if she's the corruption minister, look, we don't know yet.
She's got expertise in it. She knows what to look out for.
No, it doesn't work that way.
She's like, catch me if you can.
I agree she hasn't been found guilty yet, and therefore I'm not sure whether she should. But she should have to step down during this. If it turns out she's not guilty, then
she's not under investigation at all. It's her aunt who's under investigation.
Yeah. She's named in part of the investigation, I believe.
Yeah, but being named is not the same as actually being investigated. You're just like...
Of course it is.
We all get money. Of course it is.
I'm going to name you in my investigation.
Yes, that means now that I have to be investigated too. And she's also being investigated for her house in London and so on, which she hasn't provided conclusive documentation of yet.
Well, supposedly, just to be fair here, supposedly she gave a lot of documentation to the peeps and the government, and they went, no, it's all here, but you've got to go.
Well, they're saying it's a huge blow for Starmer. It's not a huge blow, and it's not this. If Rachel Reeves go, that would be a big blow for him, but not at this stage. But no, I don't agree. I think there is a corruption case going on. She's involved in it. She's a corruption minister. She can't be in government right now until this is all resolved.
Where is the corruption case going on? It's the Bangladeshis.
I love how you said those Bangladeshis.
Yeah, whatever they are, whoever they are, they change their name.
Those Bangladeshis.
She hasn't, from what I could tell, and I'm not sure, she hasn't been proven to have done anything really wrong.
No.
Except her family. We've all accepted money from illegitimate organizations. We work here at GBNews.
Hello, what?
You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean? GBNews isn't illegitimate. Lewis, we have not accepted money from illegitimate organisations.
Lewis, what do you know?
I'm not saying.
Who did you talk to at the Christmas party, Lewis?
Why are your pockets so full?
Why are they giving Lewis Schaefer money? That's what I'd like.
Everyone's trying to solve that.
People who give you money, you take the money.
Yeah. You don't even ask?
Just because sometimes you don't ask. You just take the money. It's not my business to know where they... And they're not illegitimate. This is a fantastic company.
I'm going to say...
Lewis backtracking
I think you are illegitimate.
Out of fear. Lewis, go on to The Guardian, see if you can get fired on this one.
Yeah. It's going to happen. People know that about me. Anyway, so he was the brightest and the best. This is Tony Slattery. He's dead. And
did you know him?
I did not know him. I never met him. I met a lot of the other guys on the program, and they were the brightest lights of British television at one time. And a lot of them went on to like major things.
Yeah, now they've been replaced by yours truly.
Schaefer. Yeah, I feel bad for this country that I'm here. And he died. He was 65 years old. He was not a vegetarian, but he was a drug taker, and he did drink.
OK, well, I'm glad you brought that into it. Yeah, he was a sort of icon back in the day, comedy-wise.
Well, what do you guys think about him? Did you know?
Well, I kind of grew up with him.
Yeah.
He was just on the TV all the time.
In your family?
No, whose line is it? Anyway, you know.
Yeah, whose line is it anyway? I wish I watched a few times. Yeah.
Oh, really? OK, well, look.
It was OK.
And now
it was good.
Now he's
Sorry, he's
gone.
dead.
Now he's
Man,
gone.
they were harsh crowd tonight. Let's go on to this one. Well, OK, now, Lewis, you've got to do this one. Call to end flawed use of BMI to diagnose obesity.
Yeah.
They're just going to call people fat now, right?
Well, they're going to figure out a way to call someone fat without you having to look at them.
So what do you say?
I'm saying
Lewis Schaefer would not have an affair with you?
It is flawed, but there are people who can be very muscular and have a very high BMI but be healthy, and there could be people in the other direction who could be thin and very unhealthy.
How would you describe Kerry's BMI?
He's fat, Carrie, and he's got pre-diabetes or diabetes, and he's going to die soon.
Wow.
And
I'm calling HR.
No, I'm trying to help him out. He doesn't listen to me.
I'm firing my doctor because I don't agree with Lewis at all.
Yeah, they don't agree. No, you think you're doing really well.
He can do it all just by one look. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I did. As soon as I saw this story, I thought, this is BMI has been discussed for a while, and there are flaws with the BMI index. But the Ask Lewis instead doesn't seem to me to be the best answer. But
send me a picture, and I'll tell you.
Everybody in this office has lost weight since Lewis has joined.
It might be true.
That's it. Just he comes in and just starts shouting at us.
And then we get upset and we eat.
Here is the point.
Big meals.
I'll give a suggestion of what
you're making me want to eat right now.
Instead of the BMI, is that you measure your height in inches or whatever centimeters, and you measure your waist in centimeters. And if it's more than if it's less than 50%. You've got a problem. Okay. So if you're 6 feet tall and you're only 3 feet around the waist, you're fine.
Thank you for that, Lewis. Lewis, do you want to talk about the Gaza ceasefire deal?
No.
Does that matter?
No, you're Mr. Jew on the program.
No, you're Mr. with 3 Jews this evening.
No, we're not. I was going to.
By the way,
you're not the Jew.
That's just the way it's worked out.
Lewis doesn't
this
like
happens sometimes.
embracing his Jewish identity, but look into this Gaza ceasefire deal.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kerry? This we talked about this yesterday as possibility. It seems to be getting closer. 33 people. Still alive, at least hopefully.
Mixed feelings. Obviously, I really want to see the hostages released, and they've been in that captivity for a long time now without the Red Cross or anyone even checking on them. How many are actually alive? And there's been several times where it's come close to a deal to release them, but at one occasion, the Hamas changed the deals from releasing live hostages to dead hostages, which is why Israel backed out of that one. And this is going on again now. We're not sure whether they're going to have to release alive or dead hostages. And it's only a percentage. Surely they should be just releasing all the rest of the hostages. I think that the good side is this, finally just get the hostages back, as many as you can. And the downside is we now negotiate with terrorists. This is what's changed. And the taking hostages works because we negotiate with it and we break
you're saying this
rules
like
for it.
Now, as Josh will tell you, this thing has been going on forever. That's what Israel does. They'll trade one guy gets captured and one Jewish guy gets captured, and they'll give like 1,000 Palestinian prisoners.
Yeah,
so this has been going on a long time. It needs to stop. You need to know.
Well, I will say that what's been pointed out, certainly by many people, is that what you have now online is you get Palestinians going, this is a great victory, yet at the same time they're claiming that there was a genocide. It's like, well, which one was it, guys? Is this now a victory, or was it what you've just...
It's also, you saw people turning on Hamas in recent weeks in Gaza, and there's been quite a lot of those videos, but and this will kill it, because what has been happening is that Hamas has been taking the food as it goes into Gaza, and then they sell it onto the people if they will join up with Hamas. So Hamas has been regrouping through all this and using the food as a method of doing
Kerry,
it.
I want to move on
how
to
do you get around it, though?
You get around it by not doing the deal, by saying, I'm sorry, those 96...
Yeah, but most people won't accept that hardcore
Well, they better learn
view.
to...
And obviously Trump coming in. Yeah. But let's go on to Telegraph, Kerry. I don't want to do... There's Labour U-turns to revive free speech law. I'd actually like to cover that properly in a little bit, because there's some other stuff I want to talk about first. PM to pay damages to Jerry Adams. How is that working?
Well, it doesn't mean that the Prime Minister's going to do it. It's not coming out of his pocket, no. Okay. So that's kind of... we, the public, will pay it. So this was the former Sinn Féin president set to benefit from a decision by government to repeal the Troubles legislation, which looks like it is going to go through. And it's once again Labour doing something which most of the public, I think, in the UK, will, or certainly in this country, wouldn't agree with. Which is being pushed through. So I don't know. How do you feel about it? Do you think he's fat?
I don't think Jerry. He could be fat. He looks a bit fat. But
Don't call Jerry Adams fat, Lewis.
is he dangerous, Jerry?
Yes, he is. No,
A little
he's
bit.
not dangerous.
He's not that point.
Definitely not
Not the point.
dangerous.
Is everybody in this country is fat? I mean, you watch TV, they're all... No, seriously. I mean, they're not as fat as Americans, but people are fat, and you're going to die, and you wonder why you got cancer or diabetes or anything.
How fat are they in the Chagos Islands? Quickly deal with that.
The Chagos deals rush through to beat Trump. They're giving away the Chagos Islands, and they're giving Mauritius, I think, $8 billion to take.
They're trying to get it through before Trump
gets it, because he's not going to be happy about it. Our Prime Minister, I don't feel guilty, because I said I recommended voting for Starmer. You probably don't remember this, but I said people should vote for Starmer.
I said the same.
Yeah.
I take responsibility. It was my fault as well.
No, it was my
I share it with you, mate.
I've got more power than you, because I'm American.
I think also the Chagos thing's similar to the Jerry Adams thing. It's like, I'm not sure that the public have had any say on this whatsoever. And I think it's... and it's being rushed through, obviously, to get it done before Trump gets in.
Are you saying we need a Chagos Brexit type thing?
Well, a discussion.
Referendum. You know? Very, very quickly, in 10 seconds, keep your filthy hands off Tory beavers. Please explain this to me in the Star.
Okay. Is it me?
Yeah.
Is it you?
No, it's actually you, Kerry.
Is it me? Oh, well, we've got to keep our hands off the Tory beavers. I think what this was the Tories were going to bring back beavers, which have, I believe, been gone from the country for 400 years. Did you know that?
I knew something like that, but I
know you know a lot about beavers, but...
I like to eat beaver, but because I'm a carnivore. But... What?
You what? Why are you looking at me?
What?
You think that I'm going to comment on that?
No, I've had a bad show. This is the worst start of the show.
No, this is your best start.
No, it isn't. Normally I'm not this hostile to people, but the point is...
You've called all our viewers fat.
The point. I think what it is it's a change, because the Tories were against the beavers because they were supporting the farmers, and that's what makes this news. Doesn't it make a news?
No.
Don't look at me.
No. It's okay, fine. That's an interesting take. Well, look, we're going to go to a break in a second, but I just want to say that Jerry Adams is definitely not fat.
You know what?
How about the public? What he called all the public fat? You're not telling them.
Well, the public aren't Jerry Adams. I'm not, Anyway, this is Headliners on GB News.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
And then fashionistas are keen to see which new trends are set to hit the catwalk.
Well, our next guest is very well placed to share her predictions with us after being a contestant on hit ITV series Dress the Nation, as well as being an upcycling and sewing consultant.
Wow. Joining us now is Tendai Murewa. I want to go back to you appearing on the ITV Dress the Nation.
Right.
Tell us about that experience. What was that like?
Oh, that was one of my highlights as an upcycling consultant. I learned to sew in my kitchen 5 years ago. And then, during COVID, just making masks. Then the next thing I was on a Dress the Nation, making dresses in front of TV. Yeah, it was just incredible. I think we all had all these clothes that we have, but we don't know what to do with them. So mainly I started with men's jackets, taking off the sleeves and putting it like a print on.
I've tried this. I've tried taking off my sleeves before. I now have about 3 jackets with no sleeves.
Oh, so,
I never managed to put them back on.
You need to come to a workshop. You need to come to a
I need an
workshop.
upcycling consultant. 2025. What can we expect, fashion-wise?
I think bold prints are back. People are loving. I think you walk on the streets in frollers and oversized men's
So the
jackets.
exact opposite. We have drastically underperformed this morning. You're just saying, not like us.
We just woke up this morning and thought, it's winter, it's cold, it's grey.
Grey, miserable.
Is that not the way to go?
No, it is. It's still, I think because fashion is expressive. It's whatever you want to express yourself.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Join me, Camilla Tominey, for a frank and honest discussion with those in power that cuts through the spin and gets to the heart of the issues shaping our nation.
You haven't confirmed that you want to stand as leader, but you haven't ruled it out either.
This report basically says that he's not fit to stand trial. Is he indecisive? Incompetent?
I deliver the dose of reality Westminster needs. That's the Camilla Tominey Show at 9:30 every Sunday on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more. Whether it's breaking royal news, Will, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Headliners. We're going to start with Wednesday's Mirror, Kerry, and Kevin Badenoch has been condemned for insulting rapists.
All hell's broken loose. The country is exploding. Everything has gone horribly wrong. She used the term peasants from sub-communities. And this is happening now. It seems like the biggest discussion is really about how we describe the Pakistani rape gangs rather than what actually happened, and everyone's saying it's about the victims, but they're not discussing the victims. They're too busy discussing the perpetrators. So, and here's the problem with the terminology. People were saying rape gangs, and then a lot of people said that's really bad. You have to say grooming gangs, which doesn't really describe what happened. And then it was Then it was Asian grooming gangs, and it was like, no, you can't say Asian because it's not Chinese people. Okay, so Muslim rape gangs, no, you can't say that because it's not just Muslims, and it makes it look like it's all Muslims. So then Pakistani. No, that's still wrong. So you think, actually, she's going along with this, you'd think, in saying a sub-culture of Pakistani. So she's basically saying it's a subsection, it's not all Pakistanis, which you'd think is on message to what is coming from the left at the moment. But now they're annoyed with that because I suppose the term subculture makes it sound nasty, but it's also the word peasants, which I can understand sticks out. But then that is the problem, is what's been coming over with the immigration is middle class and upper class Pakistanis and so on from elsewhere as well, that's who the middle class and so on work with, educated people coming from other countries. But there's also a peasant population. It may not be the right word. What would be the right word? Got a better word?
From supposedly one town. It's like going to America and saying, oh, America's the most amazing people in the world. They don't even use electricity and they use only horses, and you've only been to one Amish community. And that's what she's saying, which is the right thing. It isn't the right thing.
No, it's not right. If it's true, and if someone's looked at the data and they've got specific information, that's what we need. That's the whole purpose of asking...
to say the rest of everybody is OK to bring into the country.
Well, I don't know if she's saying that, but the two are not mutually exclusive.
Because here in this country, and as Leo Kurtz pointed out, people are afraid to express themselves. And what Kemi Badenoch was doing, which is why you're right, is that she's saying basically what they're saying is not all Pakistanis, and it probably isn't. It's not obviously not all Pakistani, but it's one group, so you can't get mad at.
It's a certain region.
It's a certain region.
Yeah,
right.
I think the problems are the word, like, subsection makes it sound like subhuman, and I think people are reading that into it like it's sub as in it's a below.
Sub-community.
Yeah, but that's what it means, though, right? Not subhuman, but subsection. It's a smaller section of a community, right?
Yeah.
So, in itself, not a wrong thing to say.
But again, English, I mean, she did grow up in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could say, she used, English is not, I mean, I guess...
No, English is...
But calling people peasants has lots of connotation to it, but at the same time, this is actually below what we would call the working class. So what do you call something that's below that? And I mean, financially and from
the reality is peasants exist in the world. It's not... It might be an unpopular term to use, but the definition of peasants, there are still peasants in parts of the world.
Why is peasants a bad term? Peasants was probably a complimentary term when they first started to use it 1,000 years ago, whatever.
Yeah, it was
But in this country, because this is a feudal slave country where people were tied to the king or the duke or whatever it is that a peasant was a very bad term.
By the way...
So she shouldn't have used... It's her fault.
Getting back to the story, though, this is about the PM hitting back, or it should be said it's PM's office saying, well, he wouldn't use this language.
Yeah, but what's the point of that? Why are they telling us what he would use?
Yeah, so no, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't.
And also, it's a spokesman for him. It's not even him saying it. It's just saying a spokesman saying, "Wow, the Prime Minister wouldn't say that." But so what? I don't even understand what point you're making.
Right, Guardian now, Lewis, with an innovative solution to asylum seekers in hotels. We're going to give them
I'm
flats.
not so sure what this is. This is councils keen to help Home Office move asylum seekers out of hotels.
Yeah.
And this is in The Guardian, which costs £3 a day, which is almost the most expensive newspaper available. And it says authorities in England and Wales say they want to help house refugees amid concern about local tensions. Why did the local people... Right now there's an arrangement, which I didn't know, which is 36,000 people were put into more than 200 hotels. It costs £3.7 million a day. And they're saying if they renew that, if they renew it, it's going to go on until 2000.
Yeah, so it runs out next year, and if they don't pull out of that contract, it's going to go on for another 4 years.
And what my guess is that that local councils want that money.
There we go. That's exactly
That's what's going on. Yeah, I mean, this reads a bit like Hamas trying to find new ways to hide the hostages. You know, you've got to get them out of the hotels, put them, distribute them around everywhere. And it really doesn't sound like they do have much of a plan. Yeah, it's to pass this over to the councils, and then you have this lady, Louise Gittins, who's a councillor and chair of the LGA, and she says, we're keen to work with the government both to improve the current system, work together for long-term change. Both need to deliver a fairer dispersal system of asylum seekers around the country, and understanding of shared roles and responsibility to keep people safe and supporting. And how did she remember all this? And the fund needed to deliver this in a place-based approach to wider cohesion and housing challenges. How do politicians talk like that?
She didn't.
How do they? It's probably AI.
They need to deliver this in a place-based approach to wider cohesion and housing challenges. I've no idea what does that mean.
She is worth every penny, as far as I'm concerned. Whatever she's getting paid, it's not enough.
She sent an email. It was all written down on the email. What they're saying is they want.
She memorised it.
They want the money.
They want the dosh. They want that dosh. Why should it go to these hotels when it should go to hotels? The problem is, of course, where are these homes coming from? These homes are supposedly being built for all of the people who are renting at the moment. What, are they going to go into all of these homes? That's been the issue, isn't it?
Well, you know what? There was a story just today in Lewisham that 300 people who are like residents of Lewisham being kicked out of their homes for homeless people. You might want to Google that, Lewisham. Not Lewisham, sorry. What's the town next to Lambeth?
Yeah, and Jerry Adams being fat. Angela Rayner in The Guardian, Lewis, wanting to help out renters. Now she's no longer a landlord.
Landlord, is this me? We're not going to do that. We did that one already. Okay, sorry, this is The Guardian. How much does The Guardian cost every day? £3. It's like the BBC. You got to pay for your pay to be propagandized. Landlords in England face ban on outrageous upfront charges, and this is the thing that's happening today or tomorrow. That they're voting.
They're debating it.
They're debating it, and they're voting on rent regulations. And anybody who's lived in New York City knows that rent control, rent stabilization, or whatever rent regulations are, is going to be horrible for this country. You're getting a warning from Louis Schaefer. First of all, you're fat. The second of all, you should not want. You're fat. You should not. You're not fat, Josh.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate that.
But you're not good looking.
Okay.
Sorry.
Right, I'm going to disagree with Lewis just on principle. I think everything Lewis just said was absolutely wrong. He's an idiot.
I'm an idiot. You don't call someone an idiot.
I can look at someone and see straight away, Lewis. You call me fat.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant it as a joke.
I am fat, but I'm fat and proud of it. Just like it's not the.
Why can't you be stupid about it?
I want to accept the shaming.
Yeah. What do you think of this?
Okay, no, I think this is something needed. I think it can be too heavy-handed, but I do think it does need to happen because the rent market has just gone insane, and it's impossible for people to move right now. The demand's being, and also because they have to trust estate agents who are telling them there's with bidding wars and so on. I moved last time during the lockdown, and of course our whole industry was shut down, so I was officially unemployed. So now I can't get a place. I can't live anywhere, even though it wasn't my fault. Because someone else sneezed, I can't get a job.
Do you think them
can't get a house.
These rules that have it? The fact is, I used to be a slum landlord.
A slum landlord?
A slum landlord.
In Nunhead.
Why does that not surprise me?
And that's how you met your missus, isn't it?
And then I was also a tenant in the same place. So I was basically a slum landlord and a slum tenant at the exact same time. And you need some freedom over your place. You can't have somebody living in your place you don't want living there.
No, you don't have to.
You do have to, because they're saying you can't just ask someone to move out, whatever.
Yeah, okay, but put that one as a separate. But first of all, with
the main
the main part is the charging people for months in advance, and this started happening where, and you've got to remember, a lot of people cannot afford homes now.
Yeah,
that's the situation we're in. Unless you've got a parent passing money on to you, you're not going to be able to afford a home.
They can afford. They can't.
No, but wait a second. So with so many people who can't afford a home, the renting market is now. We have to sort this out.
Yeah.
And what started happening is the landlords would say we want a year's rent in advance, and people couldn't afford it, and there's nothing to stop it.
My
And I do think there should be some laws.
they needed 6 months in advance.
Yeah, and where do you live, Josh? You live in North London. This is London.
Yeah, this is Haringey. It's not the nicest place in the world.
Do you rent, Lewis?
No.
No.
Okay.
So you don't know what the market's about then?
All right,
we've got to go to this. I do know that London.
You're fat, Lewis. Fat. Everything
right,
is
guys,
fat.
We've got to go to break.
Am I
Still to come, what's Elon Musk planning to buy next? Where can Rachel Reeves find her next job? And what does the founder of Brewdog think of you, the great British public? This Headliners, only on GB News. Who's...
Hello again. Very good evening to you. Here's your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. Looking ahead to tomorrow, and there will be increasing amounts of sunshine from the northwest, and it is going to stay generally dry for most of us. Also, mostly dry through this evening and overnight because of the fact that we have high pressure to the south of us dominating the story. That being said, there's still a weak front across us, and that's bringing some thick cloud across central parts and some drizzly rain, particularly over the higher ground towards the west. There will be some clear skies, particularly over eastern parts of Scotland, northeast England, but for many it's a cloudy night, and with that then temperatures not dropping a huge amount. A pretty mild start to tomorrow morning, albeit across some eastern parts of Scotland where we have those clearer skies it could be a touch chillier here, and there may even be a little bit of frost. The flip side of that though is there will be some brighter skies across eastern Scotland first thing tomorrow morning. Notice towards the far northwest there's some rain waiting to push its way in and some blustery winds in association with this, but across much of Scotland, northern England, quite a bit of cloud to start, a much sunnier start though for Northern Ireland. Lots of cloud across central southern England and also Wales, and here it's going to be quite low in places, so some hill fog, some murky conditions, even a bit of drizzly rain, could be a little bit dank at times as we go through the morning. As we go into the afternoon, we are going to see increasing amounts of sunshine across much of Scotland, northern and western England and Wales, holding on to the grey, cloudy skies though across parts of the southeast. Temperatures again a little bit above average for the time of year across the north, generally getting into double figures, nearer normal towards the south. Looking ahead to Thursday, and again it's a bit of a northwest-southeast split when it comes to cloud amounts, so staying cloudy and grey towards the southeast, most places having another largely dry day though. And the mostly dry weather continues as we go through the end of the week and into the weekend, but it is going to be pretty cloudy for most of us, and we're going to see our temperatures dropping as well. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently. It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it? It's explosive. I mean, this is very good. It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial. And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born. It's everything you need to kickstart your evening. Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it. That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Headliners. Before we go on with the rest of the stories, we're going to have another look at the front pages, starting with the Daily Mail.
Oh, wait, to get the audience's attention, because this is crucial. You don't want them to miss
one lame duck down. This is Tulip Siddiq, someone who we hadn't heard of until quite recently. But suddenly everyone's very excited that she's gone.
Tulip grows on us.
She's gone, and everybody's super happy about it. All the newspapers, they just want to print it on their front pages and be like, look at us, we made another person lose their job.
Tulip season. Hey.
This is it. Well, The Guardian has the same thing. Siddiq
and what
quits.
kind of name as Tulip.
I know, it's also quite hard to say Sadiq. Sadiq quits as minister after inquiry into property. This is property, I believe, in London, but it's not her property. I believe it's owned by relatives and whatnot. Also, call to end flawed use of BMI to diagnose obesity, and Louis Schaefer calling the entire country fat.
They know that.
Everybody's fat.
The problem is,
including Jerry Adams, supposedly. The Daily Telegraph. PM to pay damages to Jerry Adams, the very svelte Jerry Adams there. But he might get fat with all that money, all the taxpayers' money that's going to be coming his way. We've got Labour U-turns to revive free speech law. We'll be covering that in just a few minutes. And the Chagos deal rushed through to beat Trump. Surprise, surprise, they really want to give our money away.
I don't think Labour understands that they are kind of on the way out.
No, well,
they have no idea. They think, we're going to.
Well, they want to just give away at least $8 billion before that happens. The Times has Sadiq quits over links to Bangladesh corruption. For some reason, corruption is a sort of inverted commas. I don't know what.
No, it's not. It's not corruption. It's corruption.
Corruption. Corruption.
More corruption than corruption is.
It's corruption
with extra corruption.
She's saying she took a gift from somebody who was corrupt.
It's corruption.
Was the gift corruption?
I don't know. Well, we also had Princess of Wales reveals her cancer is in remission, which is obviously fantastic news. And she's smiling there. Another photo of her smiling in the Daily Express. Kate's relief, again inverted commas, at being in remission from cancer. Again, there's a lot of this finger action going on here. She's relieved. She's relieved from being, and she's looking forward to a fulfilling year. And thanks, stars, for exceptional care. I mean, guys, you can just print. You don't have to use all those.
I don't know whether we were meant to applaud or something there.
Independent.
Well done.
She said it. Then
I'm very happy for her.
Treasury Minister Sadiq quits over corruption probes. That's in The Independent. Basically exactly the same story. So why would you want to buy The Independent? To find out the more left-wing...
You don't have to buy The Independent.
No, you don't? It's online now.
It's online.
There we go.
It's not just online. It's only online.
Only online,
It's not a newspaper.
So we don't have to buy it. Well,
it's not a newspaper.
But we love it here. We love it.
So if you work for them, you're not a journalist because there is no journalist.
What about you? Are you a journalist, Luke?
No,
okay,
not a journalist.
Finally, the Daily Star. That's all I was, isn't it?
I know my place.
Yeah, no, fine.
Do the beavers, Josh.
Keep your filthy hands off Tory beavers.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start reading out all the headlines from the papers in the accent of the... So, sort of, the Guardian's going to be like... What would the Guardian accent be?
Guardian.
Daily Telegraph, PM to pay damages to Jerry Adams. And the Daily Star, keep your filthy hands off the Tory beavers.
Get your hands off our beavers now.
Yeah.
You're all fat.
So, opening with Wednesday's Times and Chinese whispers about Musk's next move. Lewis!
Yes, and this is in the Times. The Times is £3, I think, £2.80.
Oh,
if you want to go by the Times.
Bargain. Better than the Independent.
And you know what it is? They keep the propagandizing to a lower level. It doesn't seem like it's
I'm surprised. Times is a lot woker than I thought.
Yes.
It's interesting, actually, isn't it?
It's become woker. And look,
it has become more.
Look at the Telegraph, too. The Telegraph is like gung-ho.
Gee, you're finding the Telegraph too woke for you.
I find it is. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, Lewis, you've been
I've been told. I don't read it. I don't read these articles.
No, of course not. So anyway, go, China.
China in secret talks to sell TikTok to Elon Musk. And this is the U.S. ban. Donald Trump wants to ban TikTok because it's propagandizing. But then again, he's on TikTok.
Yeah.
Right? So what is he actually thinking? And this is Elon Musk, who knows he's going to lose all his money if he doesn't get out of those stocks that he's in. If he's not, they're going to stop. People are stopping buying electric cars.
Oh, you think that? So he's getting out of the electric car market and into the social media market.
He's spreading
the space market. Yeah. He's getting out of the space market.
You know what TikTok will be? It'll be the same thing that X Twitter was. It's the jewelry store on the way out of the casino.
Okay.
Just as you won the money in the casino, you go into the jewelry shop. You pay twice as much money for it.
That's fair. That's a great analogy, Lewis.
That's a very good analogy.
I love that one.
Lewis is doing metaphors now.
The truth is,
moving up.
Moving on up. The truth is, Josh has to be nice to me. And the truth is...
That is the truth. Yeah,
that is the truth.
It's really painful.
He's so horrible to everybody that he has to be nice to at least somebody. Anyway, which I appreciate, Josh.
You're welcome.
Here is the point. The point is that China is about to go bankrupt. Well, you're seeing it from Louis Schaefer. China is about to go bankrupt. You can Google me.
I know that they are having some eat, but I don't know if they're going to go bankrupt. The second largest world
What I
economy.
really like working with Louis is it's news as you didn't know it.
Yeah.
It's news completely different to everything we're hearing elsewhere, but it's like you have lowdown somehow. You have some kind of secret
You're right in
connection.
that they have some serious economic issues to sort out.
You know what the number one
the point is,
economic issue? Like I tell you what it is. Number
TikTok.
one is the population, because they had zero population growth, may now be as little as 700 million, which is half what they say it is.
Yeah.
So they're sitting there saying we're bigger than India, and they're
Well, let's talk about China as if it's still there for now.
Okay.
Okay, so the ban is coming in on the January the 19th, which is the day before Trump gets inaugurated in America. So the clock is ticking on TikTok, which is quite amusing, and I'm going to do that because, you know, on air this sounds like a round of applause next to the microphone.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. It'd be interesting if Elon were to buy TikTok, and I'd like to see him buy Blue Sky. That would really mess up a few people who've run off to it, wouldn't it? The world is shuffling and panicking in the wake of the Trump presidency. That's what's actually going on all over Europe, all over the Middle East and so on. Everyone is on tenterhooks waiting to see what is going to happen and what he's going to do.
Trump has sort of reneged on his initial promise to get ban TikTok in his first term as president, and now he's sort of, it all seems to be changing. He's changing his mind. But I like how this article does frame it.
He's older now.
Well, yeah, we're allowed to change our mind. But I love how they sort of framed this as when they talk about Elon Musk and say, he bought Twitter just so he could express his ideas. And that shows what it was like before he took it, like that you couldn't express your ideas.
Totally. It's in the Times, and they sound like The Guardian. Yeah. Are they not? It's saying all about the bad things that Elon Musk is doing. And it's not true.
Now, this is an important story I really want to get to. Telegraph next. Rachel Reeves could be about to be headhunted, Kerry. No, sorry. Actually, no, I'm doing the Bridget. I want to do the Bridget Phillipson to revive.
Why don't you say the same thing, but Bridget Phillipson? It won't make any sense, but you could change it. She's being headhunted, but she's not. But this show's getting messier by the second, isn't it?
But that's, I think, what people want.
Is that what they want?
They want the mess.
They get the facts elsewhere.
They want to be called fat, and they want it to be messy.
So there's this Bridget Phillipson person, and she's going to revive the free speech laws after backlash from academics, which is what it says here. And it's she's the education secretary, of course. And what it was the Tories brought this in, and obviously when Labour come in, they want to get rid of everything that's Tory, and it's basically what that's about. But it's also that people on the left kind of don't really seem to like free speech that much at the moment. The universities and so on have had so much suppressed speech going on, and sort of one-directional new think and so on. So this has been signed by Richard Dawkins and several Nobel Prize winners, 700 academics, and I think she's basically being pushed to reintroduce this law.
Yeah, supposedly it's going to be watered down, but this is a good thing for free speech, isn't it, Lewis?
No, it's not a good thing for free speech.
I don't know why I asked you. Why did I ask you?
Well, you want to know what the truth is. The truth is it's up to it's the state, and when I mean the state, it's the government, it's the ruling powers.
The state.
telling a university that they have to have free speech. That's not free speech. It's just the mass.
Wow, I've never heard that argument before.
That's an interesting
You're saying forcing free speech on people is not free speech, then?
No, it's not. If they don't want to,
when you force free speech on people, you're not forcing them to say anything.
But you're saying you've got to have this speaker.
Should you have the right? Should you have the right to call the whole country fat?
If this great channel, GB News, doesn't want me to do that, they have a right to say, Lewis, I don't want you to call him fat. And it shouldn't have the government, that Bridget Phillipson saying...
The point is that our universities have been captured and they haven't been allowed the people to call the country fat. Yeah. And now that's why they've had to step up so that they can call the country fat.
Yes, and they're captured. So we, as individuals and our children...
I would stand up for your right to call the country fat. I believe you have the right to do that.
I do have the right to do it.
I think it's an important right.
But I don't have the right to do it.
Whether they're fat or not.
Only if you were brave enough to do it.
Can I finish my point, Josh and Carrie? Is that it's up to the people to decide if they want to go to a school that's been captured.
Okay.
And if
it often isn't, Lewis. It's often the people need to get, or they're choosing a university that's, whether it's close to home or whether it's in an area they want or whether it's got other courses they want and so on. And then they get there and they find that they have to be thinking and talking in a particular way. And I think that's restrictive.
So you feel you should be traveled to
also, as a country where we're subsidising this, we have to ensure that our education is good and
no, we don't.
worthwhile.
I think
yeah, we do.
I think universities should be places for debate.
Oh, actually, you know what? We're going to have to go straight to break because we just got to. We've got no choice. We've got to with the time.
But free speech, Josh.
Free speech. No
I should be allowed to
speech.
talk whenever I like, and I will talk. I'm not going to be stopped.
We need to
I will say whatever I think, and I will talk about whether the country's fat or Lewis is fat. Everyone's fat, and I'm not going to be stopped.
Minutes.
You're looking happy.
Well, the forecast looks good.
So you've sorted the travel insurance then?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
If you are searching for any winter sun, you'll find it in Iberia, but it's going to be breezy in the Canaries and there'll be further showers across much of Greece. Cyprus is looking fine and warmer than average for the time of year. This area of low pressure bringing some showery rain to the south of Italy and Sicily. Balearics, Spain, Portugal, mostly fine, plenty of sunshine, but an area of showers will approach here during Thursday and Friday, making it feel a little cooler.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
GB News Breakfast. Every day from 6 a.m.
Underestimate what you did, because to do it in their backyard as well, I bet they weren't happy about it, were they, Brad?
No, definitely not. Well, it makes it all the more sweeter. So they're usually pretty dominant in a two-man event, but four-man's usually where we can challenge them. And, yeah, we managed to do it yesterday and put down 2 solid runs. And, yeah.
So, yeah, funding was a big issue for us in the last quad. But because of our results recently, we've picked up a lot more funding from UK Sport. So we're well funded now. And but, yeah, the Bob is in the back of the van behind us. So we're driving it down to St. Moritz as we speak. So, yeah, it's... That's how it all works in the background in bobsleigh.
Brad, you're the pilot, correct? So you're up front.
Yeah.
Now, what happens? I always wonder, because I remember seeing John Noakes on. Do you remember John Noakes on Blue Peter when he fell out of the bob and he ended up showing the back of his backside on TV because he had a big scar on there? What? So you've got the brake man. You're at the front. So where are you then, Aaron? Are you what number are you?
So I'm number 3, yeah.
Right, so what do you do there? Is it just a matter of it's the running power is what it's all about to get off to a good start and then you can sit and enjoy the ride?
Yeah, that's it. So for number 2 and myself, number 3, it's all about getting that bob off the line and then just zipping it up to as high a speed as we can, basically. Getting in, staying low, having good aerodynamics and staying still and let Brad do the work.
Yeah, it's definitely not a comfortable position for them because we're bending them and twisting them into... It's quite an uncomfortable position to get as aerodynamic as possible. And when you've got 6 times G's pushing you through that is not... Yeah, not
definitely
fun.
Stiff back this morning, that's for sure.
Because I'm just thinking where me and Eamon would sit. Is it 2 and 3, or would he go at number 4? What do you fancy?
I would be too frightened to do that.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Thank you, Britain.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for subscribing.
Thank you for your support.
It's you that make us the People's Channel.
As we reflect on our journey so far, we're filled with immense gratitude.
You mean the world to us. We couldn't have reached this point without you.
As a very special thank you, we are giving you the chance to win one of 50 GB News thank you boxes. They're worth £50 each.
For full terms and conditions, and to enter, just go to gbnews.com/thank you.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Welcome back to Headliners. We are going to go straight into the Telegraph, Kerry, and it's just a coincidence that it's 3 Jews.
Yeah, this is the Telegraph. Nearly half of people worldwide are anti-Semitic, survey reveals. And this is a survey by the Anti-Defamation League, and quite a big survey of its kind worldwide, 2.2 billion people worldwide, including 6.7 million adults. That wasn't part of the survey. In Britain hold anti-Semitic views. And basically this show tonight is making that worse.
Yeah, calling everybody fat.
We're calling the world... Well, Lewis, on behalf of us, is calling everyone fat. We're not agreeing, but...
When I called them fat, I was making a joke, and the people need to know.
Yeah, and no one agrees that it was a joke.
So, look, is this why you're not so keen to embrace your Jewish identity, because everybody hates us?
This is a non-news story. Everybody knows this. Only because you're on the panel that you chose this story. We don't need to know this. And it's mostly people in places like those places over the nice.
No, I think it's all over. I'll tell you what I think's gone on, is to be serious, is that we've put a lot of work and time, so much into racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, with overzealous sort of madness looking for microaggressions and so on. And this one, anti-Semitism, has largely been left out of the conversation other than something awful happened in Germany.
People don't discuss pro-Semitism.
No, of course not. They should. They should be learning to like us a bit more after all this time.
Why are we so far ahead? Why is talentless Louis? Why am I sitting on TV?
Daily Mail next. An extraordinary piece of immersive theatre is making the headlines, Lewis.
Daily Mail, is this the wife of...
no, it's French leftist
French leftist theatre faces bankruptcy after opening its doors to 250 African migrants for a free show. And then they refused to leave, and they remained in the building.
Got a picture, I believe.
Yeah.
There they are. They haven't left. They've been there for weeks
They remain
now.
there. It's a theatrical performance, a microcosm of the whole immigration debate, all happening in one theatre. Go and see the show. It's amazing.
I know, more people. It's the standing ovation. That can only fit people in.
And the cafe next door is suffering because they're supposed to be making money out of the theatre.
And the thing is, they don't even want to be there, these Africans. They want to go back to Africa, but they, you know...
Well, basically, they did a performance and they got a sleeping ovation at the end.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and they've asked the Macron to sort it out, and he's gone, nah, mate.
not doing it. Good luck.
How can he sort it out? He's like right in the middle.
Encore.
Yeah, the show is nearly over. Let's take another quick look at Wednesday's front pages. We have the Daily Mail, one lame duck down. Obviously, that is Tulip Siddiq, who we will never hear from again. Siddiq quits as minister after inquiry into property. That's The Guardian. And Tony Slattery, who died, very funny comedian. Daily Telegraph, PM to pay damages to Jerry Adams. The Times, Siddiq quits over links to Bangladesh corruption. The Daily Express, Kate's relief at being in remission from cancer. Independent Treasury Minister Siddiq quits over corruption probes. And The Star, keep your filthy hands off Tory beavers. I'll be here at 11 p.m. tomorrow with Stephen Allen, Nick Dixon. Thank you very much to my panellists, Kay Marks and Lewis Fatboy Schaefer. Stay tuned for breakfast.
I'm a big fan.
There will be a light breeze in the morning, leading to a warm front. Boxed heat pumps, sponsors of weather on GB News.